All right, we just wrapped up a bizarre week 4 and what's been a bizarre NFL season. But I'm ranking all 32 teams in the power rankings for week 5 of the NFL season. Let's just hop right on into it with my bottom tier teams 32 through 24. Okay, a new worst team in the NFL. It's clearly the Tennessee Titans. This team is a disaster, and I mean an absolute dumpster fire. I can't even get a fair evaluation of Cam Ward. Brian Callahan, the worst head coach in the NFL. His decision-making is atrocious. You should never get a head coaching job ever again. This is awful. The Jets at 31. This team sucks. They get kind of dominated by the Dolphins. It wasn't as close as the score indicated. Defense isn't good. The offense is bad. Justin Fields sucks. Oh, cool. He has some fun run-around plays every now and again. This team is atrocious. The Dolphins, you beat the Jets. Congratulations. You have a win. This team is still bad. And you lost Tyreek Hill. He has no leg. I mean, literally his leg fell off of his knee, dislocated knee. That's a brutal go of it. The New Orleans Saints, you know what? 18th EPA for quarterbacks in the NFL. Spencer Rattler, get my guy a win. He's not been bad. The Saints have not been bad. They had a terrible game in Seattle, but that was really kind of the special teams throwing that thing apart. They were competitive in this game against Buffalo. They play it with some of the fastest play rates, though. Slow it down, maybe like control a little bit of clock. New Orleans, Carolina at 28. I mean, it looked like Carolina was going to maybe win this game early. They go up 6-0. They get a couple 3-and-outs. As soon as they give up the punt return, this party was over. Bryce Young not hitting Ted McMillan. That's probably the only bright spot on this team is Ted McMillan. He's starting to get frustrated. Bryce Young might just be too short. Bryce Young just might be too short to play in this league. Cincinnati at 27. This team is cooked. No Joe Burrow. It's a major problem. Jake Browning is really, really bad, man. I mean, Zach Taylor probably should be fired. You're an offensive head coach. You're supposed to be an offensive guy. Without Burrow, your offense should look better. Look, you played the Vikings and the Broncos defense, but still, it looks atrocious out there. And their defense is probably as bad, if not worse, than last year. They just don't do anything right in this team. Vegas, time to hit the panic button. Geno is cooked. He's bad, man. Another 3-interception day for him. And they should have won this game. The Bears did nothing to win this game, basically. And then you get the field goal blocked. The play calling was weird. They were a little apprehensive. Thank God Ashton Genty looking like the guy that you drafted at number 6, the Michael Myers stance and all. He had his best day of his NFL career. Brock Bowers still looks a little banged up, but there's just so many things. And Pete Carroll might be washed. Might have lost his touch. They look like a mess. Like I said, the Bears, here you go, 25. Not super impressed. Caleb really wasn't that good. The defense was all right. They forced 3 interceptions at Geno. That's pretty good. But still, they kicked 1 million field goals. They scored 25 points, all the possessions being in their own end. It's like they didn't have to go anywhere, and they still couldn't get into the end zone. So Bears here at 25 and Cleveland at 24. This Browns offense is atrocious. It's one of the worst offenses in the league. They're scoring like 10 to 13 points every game, but their defense is really good. They have a legit defense. Their D line is excellent. Obviously, Myles Garrett, but Mason Graham looking like a home run in the draft, traded back on top of it. So they're going to have the Jags first round pick next year. Now the Jags look decent, so it may not be that high of a pick, but pretty good. Browns have a very good defense and a very bad offense. Let's move on to our middle tier teams now, teams 23 through 16. Okay, I got the Giants at 23. The Jackson Dart era has begun, and it began with a bang. The Giants get the win. Now, they were really led by their defense. Dart didn't do a whole lot, but he does seem like a gamer, man. 3rd and 5 conversion to Theo Johnson for the touchdown that basically sealed the deal. That 4th down run that he had where he gets stopped, bounces off, converts. They were offsides anyway, the Chargers, so they got the first down. But it's just like that gamer kind of run. I like a guy who's got a dog in him, but he didn't look super comfortable throwing the ball. Cam Scadaboo's fun. He loves to eat crayons and bang his head against the wall, but it gets you some yards every now and then. They did lose Malik Neighbors for the season, but you know what? This team's led by their defense. Their defensive line is really good. They get after people, and I think they just kind of believe a little bit better. So Giants here at 23. Patriots at 22. Loved what we saw from New England here. Defense is getting better. They're starting to work it around. I know they played Carolina, but the big thing here is Drake May. Drake May had a really good game this week. The run game's still kind of inconsistent. Stephon Diggs with 100-plus yards, distributing the ball. May's making plays with his legs as well. I like the direction this Patriots team is heading. Dallas at 21. I don't know what to do with Dallas. I mean, they kissed the Packers this weekend on Sunday night. Instead of kissing your sister, the Packers and the Cowboys kissed. 40-40 over here. Offense is awesome. Dak has been dealing. George Pickens stepping up, man. He really filled in nice. He's a lunatic, and I'm not sure if it's in the best way possible, This defense is the worst defense in football. Clearly the worst defense in football. They're so bad. So 21 feels kind of right. They could outscore people, but they're not going to stop anybody. So if you get any stops against the Cowboys, you're going to win. Javonte looks good at running back, though, so that's nice for them. They should have won that game. Houston at 20, they beat up on Tennessee, but they were struggling early in this game. This game was 6-0 at half. Excuse me. It's nice that they found a little bit of the run game. I was hoping Woody Marks would start having his breakout time. Oh, he should be the guy there. He's splitting with Chubb. The wide receiver room and the offensive line is still bad in Houston, and the offense just feels clunky. Defense for Houston, though, very good. They got a long way to claw themselves out of here. Don't feel great about Houston. Same thing with Atlanta at 19. Atlanta really, they won. They tried to lose against a Washington team without Jaden Daniels. It's kind of weird. They're going to be like good at home, bad on the road. Michael Penis Jr. is going to have to figure out what he wants to be. He's going to be like the new Geno Smith, I think, as Bill Simmons said. Like, he's just up and down, kind of like he's going to have a good game. He's going to have a really bad game. We'll figure it out. He's not a disaster at quarterback. Love getting some more Bijan. Bijan's having a great season, getting London involved, and Kyle Pitts is alive. I feel like the Falcons are the team that's going to win every game indoors or at home and then just be like terrible outside or whatever, and they're going to find the way to get like 7 or 8 wins for them. Arizona, again, another team I'm not super impressed with. Kyler did rally the troops for once in his damn life and got them back in that game. They lose because of the shitty kickoff. And the defense, it's not as good as we think it is. The offense is kind of whatever. Trey Benson's fine. Marvin Harrison Jr. is kind of the big question mark. He was really bad for most of this game. Then he had his moment, got the touchdown. He's praying to God that he actually caught a football. Maybe this is a turning point for this team. Trey McBride's still really good, but they just kind of feel like whatever. Same thing with Minnesota. The offensive line is insanely banged up. They are missing starters at all 3 positions on the offensive line. They've yet to get a single snap of their starting 5 offensive line. Carson Wentz looks pretty shaky out there as well. McCarthy coming back in a few weeks after the injury. Defense can't really stop the run, the loaded up boxes. But again, Pittsburgh tried to give this game away as well. This team is just old and beat up, and that is a major problem. And finally, yes, the Ravens here at 16. This defense is the Dallas Cowboys, but with better colors. Lamar's now potentially hurt. They're hurt all over the defense as well. The offensive line is banged up. There is something going on with Baltimore. This could be the year from hell team. Just a disaster showing. They're 1-3, and their schedule doesn't get much easier. Now, the division isn't very good. They've played a very hard schedule already, the hardest in the NFL, but I'm very concerned about the Ravens moving forward. I don't know what we're going to get out of this team. Could the wheels fall off the wagon in Baltimore? It could get really ugly. John Harbaugh could be out of town here soon. But let's move on to our top 15 teams, starting with Team 15. I got the 49ers here at 15. Not good in San Francisco, man. Lose an ugly game to the Jaguars once again. The defense is fine. They're still making some mistakes. The offense, so many turnovers. Even with Brock Purdy back in there, he had 3 turnovers. He'll have a great play, then a disaster play. Christian McCaffrey still has the only guy that hasn't been hurt on this team. It feels like Ricky Pearsall picked up an injury. He's banged up. This is another team. They're made of glass. They built the stadium on an Indian burial ground. I don't know what's going on. They can't stay healthy. And if Purdy's going to be up and down, this team's really going to have weeks where everything's kind of goes against them and they lose. Luckily for them, they play a pathetically soft schedule. So maybe they're going to rack up some wins. They are 3-1. They're in a good spot here. The NFC's kind of wide open at this bottom wild card spot. We need better play from Brock Purdy and hope somehow this team is healthy for like weeks 10 through 17 to turn it around. San Francisco here at 15. Okay, I got the Commanders here at 14. And look, we've been kind of down on the Commanders all season. Haven't been impressed with what we've seen. Jaden Daniels out again, so we haven't seen him in a good minute now. Few weeks here. Mariota was fine. The defense is the concern. They are not good on defense. They really can't stop people. They have a lot of old bodies running around. Look at that wheel route that Bijan ran out there. They're getting Bobby Wagner caught up, and that is just like 69 yards almost to the house right there. It's a big concern for me. Now, the run game's getting a little bit better, and I'm assuming it's going to open up more when Jaden step backs in. They were also missing Terry McLaurin. So potentially, if we get Scary Terry, Jaden, the run game going, we're going to see a little bit more cohesion on offense. I just think this is kind of a middling Washington team. Another team that's going to be fighting for those wild card spots. And the schedule's not the easiest in the world. Playing a second place schedule, the NFC East plays the NFC North. So we'll see what it looks like here for Washington moving forward. But I am kind of concerned what the ultimate ceiling is for this team, Washington at 14. Jacksonville, the least impressive 3-1 team, maybe. I don't know. Does anybody care? Jags at 13 here. Liam Cohen's got something cooking down there. They're back to maybe Saxonville. 13 turnovers on the year. They had 9 all of last season. So they're really, really getting after teams. Now, some of them are fluky, good bounces, but they're really just forcing turnovers, making the plays, punching the ball out, getting after teams. Now, they did lose Jalen Walker. They lose some pass rush there. And the offense is still kind of shit. Like, Trevor Lawrence is just bad. Like, he's not good. He can at best be average, but the passing game is struggling. PTJ's done nothing. He's in his own head. Travis Hunter, does he play offense? Does he play defense? Does he play both? What is going on there? We don't know. But I do like Liam Cohen. He's a little feisty, trying to fight Robert Saleh for talking shit. I like it. I like the vibes there in Jacksonville. Travis Etienne has emerged. He's back to what we thought he was going into last season. He's been excellent. Liam Cohen knows how to draw up a run game, clearly, after we saw what he did in Tampa with Bucky Irving. So that is the positive side. This team can run the ball. They can control clock, and they play good defense. Now, is the turnover thing going to swing back towards them? Potentially, but sometimes you just have those years where the ball's bouncing your way and you're getting after teams and you're making plays and it's in the other team's head. And the AFC South is pretty bad. Pretty bad, I think. So Jacksonville are at 13. Pittsburgh at 12, another team I'm not super impressed with. They tried to throw away that game against Minnesota, but you do got to like that the offense has looked as good as it's looked in a long time with Rodgers at the quarterback position. He's getting the ball out quick, and him and DK seem to have a real connection going. They hook up for that 80-yard touchdown, has another big game for him all over the field. Running game was actually good with Kenneth Gainwell. They kind of tried to grind this clock out, some weird situational stuff from Mike Tomlin, like not going for that 4th down and 1, taking the 5-yard penalty. Weird. The defense was good. Getting after a bad offensive line is what you expect from Pittsburgh. They did lose Jalen Ramsey for like 7 weeks. The secondary is really banged up, so that could come back to bite Pittsburgh here. It's going to be another Pittsburgh team that's going to win 10 games. They'll get into the wild card. Is anybody really afraid of them? Probably not, but you do like to see that there is like a 2025 offense there with Rodgers throwing the quick stuff. Now, if teams figure this out and kind of take away the 3 or 4 routes that they're really attacking teams with, can they adjust? Can Rodgers go? Because Rodgers really can't move, even though he felt like he was moving in Ireland. I don't know. I think he was just motivated playing the Vikings. He sees purple. That's the same as seeing red for Aaron Rodgers. So Pittsburgh here at 12. They have a good lead in that AFC North, and that is a dog shit division right now. All right, Denver at 11 here. I'm going to bump them up. This is a team that could easily be 4-0. At minimum, probably should be 3-1. They lose on 2 last-second field goals. One of them because of a leverage penalty that doesn't get called ever in the NFL. So, Denver, nothing to panic about here. They beat the shit out of a bad Bengals team. But you like to see that defense getting back to that defense. I know it's not good, but sometimes you need a get-right game. They haven't been as good as we thought they've been. You need a get-right game. Offense was nice. You finally had a 100-yard rusher in J.K. Dobbins' first 100-yard rusher in Sean Payton's tenure in Denver. Bo Nix getting the ball out quick. He's still a little shaky. He's definitely regressed a bit. Teams are taking away kind of his first read, like his favorite read, I should say. He's looking to tuck it more. So the offense, I do like that they've added the running balance there. We thought we were going to get more out of the passing game. We really just haven't taken that next step. And the defense hasn't been quite as good, but if the defense is trending in the right direction, offense can keep running the football. They're going to win a lot of football games. Even as good as the AFC West is at the top, I think Denver is going to be one of those teams that sneaks into the playoffs. So Denver here at 11. Green Bay at number 10. The Packers, after a devastating loss to the Browns, come back and tie the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know what to say about Green Bay. We tried to warn everybody. Everybody wanted to crown this team Super Bowl champs in week 1. And I was like, there are some concerns here. And it was the defense this week. And honestly, the offense, too. The offense only scored 13 points in the first half against the worst defense in football. Oh, yeah, but they were really efficient. They were great last night. Yeah, they were great in the fourth quarter. They were bad in the first half. Love had the fumble on top of it. The protections kind of went. The wacky game management stuff at the end of that game. Holy shit. They really deserved to lose that game. They played scared. They're running bubble screens. They were not going for the touchdown and the win, not going for the kill, playing for just I hope we tie. And this is something that's crept up on Matt LaFleur multiple times in the past. He has weird end-of-game management stuff. Josh Jacobs gets banged up. The run game just doesn't feel quite as good as it was last year. The wide receivers, Romeo Doubs, he's got that goofy-ass helmet going on. He's an easy target for his quarterback to see. His head's the size of the damn moon over there with that Guardian cap. but he's a decent wide receiver. Matthew Golden is getting better. There's still no elite wide receiver in this team. That defense, though, they got sliced and diced up. That was atrocious. They just don't feel as good as they felt early in the season. Micah kind of got locked down a little bit. Technically had a sack, but didn't really have a sack. Now, Dak was getting the ball out quick. They were aware of it. This is the problem, though. We were worried about the back end. If they aren't feasting in the pass rush, this Packers secondary is not very good, and they showed it against Dallas last night. So I would be very concerned if I'm a Packers fan. Your offense has been terrible through the first 3 weeks, basically, and then it's good last week, and then your defense shits their pants. So weird stuff in Green Bay. Probably not going to win that NFC North anymore. I think they're going to be like a wild card team again, and let's pump the brakes, Packers Nation. At 9, I got the Seahawks. Look, I'm not super impressed with this offense. It's kind of like scared. Mike McDonald's kind of like, I don't know what his play calling and suggestions are at the end of the game. I don't know. He just is petrified of his offense. He doesn't trust Sam Darnold to go win the game. And Darnold's been fine. He's been taking care of the football. He's been feeding JSN, and JSN has come on as one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. They're starting to attack teams down the field more. They got to get the run game getting a little bit more consistent. I feel like it's kind of hit or miss some weeks. K9's really good. Give my man some goal line touches. He deserves the end zone. Charbonnet gets in there. Now, they could have easily blown this game open. They got a touchdown call back. They miss a field goal. Nobody helps out any kickers. They did walk away with the win, and I've been a huge fan of this defense. The defense did reel a little bit in that fourth quarter, so I don't know what to take away from that. They were great for 3 quarters. I think this is a very good Seahawks defense. We'll see how they look this week. I don't know if the ceiling is super, super high for the Seahawks team, but they could push the Rams in the NFC West. Probably going to find themselves in the playoffs, though, led by a fantastic defensive unit. Colts here at 8. I think this is a perfect spot for the Colts. I think we may have found the Colts spot here. Look, I'm not going to take too much away from a loss against the Rams. It really wasn't the worst loss in the world. We said the Rams would win this game. The Rams won this game. And the Colts showed they really can't play with the big boys. Like, they hung around in the game. But late game mistakes early in the game as well, kind of killed this team. Had an awesome touchdown play to A.D. Mitchell. Trying to grab it and taunt, fumbles it through the end zone. Stupidest rule in sports that it's a touchback and a turnover. But I digress. Those are the rules. Should have been a touchdown. Daniel Dimes throws a terrible interception to basically end this game. And then A.D. Mitchell gets another holding call on the run for JT that should have been a touchdown. There's just so many mess ups by there. A.D. Mitchell may have lost this game. The real problem here is the Colts secondary. The Colts secondary is very bad. The Rams sliced it up. That's what's going to keep this Colts team from actually being a serious playoff contention team. Because as good as they run the ball, they can't cover anybody. I mean, 88-yard bomb to Tutu Atwell that lost the game for them. This is the Colts spot. They're like a playoff team that's not ready to play with the big boys. Now, maybe they can find themselves, get themselves to that point by the end of the season. I just don't know. Colts here at 8. I'm not saying they're back yet, but the Grim Reaper might be coming. Here are the Kansas City Chiefs at 7. Absolutely dominated this Baltimore Ravens team. Now, again, this Ravens defense is the Cowboys in purple, but still, it looks so much better offensively. Mahomes was getting the ball out incredibly fast. He seemed more confident than he seemed all year. And Xavier Worthy was back, and it changed the offense. This team still really can't run the ball with the running backs, but Worthy had a really nice run. He was all over the place. Hollywood Brown then opens things up. It opens things up for Travis Kelce, and Rashee Rice is still 2 weeks away from coming back here, and this offense could really explode into something. And this defense is very good in Kansas City. Steve Spags knows how to dial it up. He can bring in the right blitz pressures. The D-line can get after people. This is just like one cohesive unit year in and year out on the defensive side of the ball. Chiefs aren't 100% back here yet, but they're right back in it in the AFC West. There are some concerns. There are still some problems, but they get Rashee Rice back, and the offense opens up even more. This is going to be, once again, one of the toughest teams to beat in the AFC. Chiefs here at 7. I got the Chargers down here at 6. Really tough loss at the Giants. Kind of a trap spot if we really think about it. West to east, early game. You lose your left tackle early in this game after you already lost your left tackle, so it's your second left tackle, even though he's really your right tackle. It's just a lot of moving pieces, a lot of adjustments, and Herbert got killed. They really couldn't protect Herbert at all. Omarion Hampton had an excellent day on the ground. He was gashing this Giants defense. And QJ, Quentin Johnson learned how to catch a football. He's for real. He's the number 1 wide receiver. Where's Ladd McConkey? Ladd McConkey fighting for reception shares over here. And the defense was fine. The Giants really didn't move the ball a whole lot. They had a good first drive and then like a 45-yard drive to seal the game, basically. But some short fields for the Giants. The defense was pressed up against it. I think this is just a bad spot for them. Want to see them adjust here, make some moves, figure it out, maybe get your offensive line settled in. One more week, I really want to see what this team look like because I think they're going to have to lean back on the run much heavier because they really haven't been able to protect Herbert. And Herbert's going to just die back there if you're going to get him crushed like that every single drive, every single play. We're going to go back to the old Chargers of play defense, run the football, and Herbert's going to have to make the 6 plays he gets potentially a game. So maybe the ceiling's been knocked down big time for the Chargers. We're going to have to see when Alt comes back, get an injury update on him. Chargers at 6. They did beat the Chiefs week 1, and I don't think the injury is that significant yet. You love to see Omarion Hampton now the last 2 weeks. He's going to have to be the bell cow for the foreseeable future. Tampa at 5, not a bad loss to the Eagles there. I like how they came back. A disaster first half. Defense couldn't stop anybody or getting them punt blocks for touchdowns. It was just a mess, but then 2 70-yard touchdowns, a 65-yard field goal for Chase McLaughlin, the longest outdoor field goal in NFL history. And you're right back in it. Baker, the ill-advised throw on the scramble, his arm, the ball gets tipped. He's trying to fit one in there to Godwin. I don't know if it still gets picked, even if it's not tipped by the safety that was coming down, even with the linebacker there. So they probably should have just ate it, and then you can't get it. Baker's a gamer, man. You love it. Bucky Irving's one of the best running backs in football. Chris Godwin's going to work himself nicely back in the lineup. Emeka Buka, a home run draft pick as well. Defense was really good in the second half. The Eagles didn't complete a freaking pass in the second half. 0 for 11. 0 for 11, or they passed 11 times, 0 for 8 and 2 sacks, and a scramble for Jalen Hurts. So basically 0 for 11 for the Eagles on there. So that's a real win for the Tampa Bay defense. I like that they came back. I don't like how the game started. They've kind of owned the Eagles of late too. And you lost at home. This is still a really good team. One of the best teams in the NFC. Buccaneers here at 5. Okay, after the week 1 debacle, looks like the Lions are officially back up here at 4. The protection has been excellent. They've gone 3 straight games without giving up a sack. Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best running backs in the league. They can run the football. And Goff was very solid once again, getting the ball to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, a little unnecessary nonsense with the Browns. I mean, why you got to beat up Joe Flacco like that? Lions defense is aggressive. They're fast. Aiden Hutchinson's one of the better pass rushers in the NFL. Do the Lions flirt on the line of dirty? 1,000%. They're probably over it. There's always a little something extra going on with them. They're always going low, and they're always doing something crazy out there. You look at the guy's hair. They got a lot of guys with crazy hair. They do crazy things. They take after Dan Campbell. A little too aggressive out there, but the offense is humming. Defense is good. We'll see what they look like when they're really pressed against teams that I think are more complete, like a good defense and a good offense. What are we going to see? I'd love to see them against the Rams. Love to see them against Tampa as well. 2 teams that could give them a little bit more pushback. But for right now, the Lions look back. I would easily take the Lions to win the NFC North. Could this be the Lions here? I don't know. We're going to have to see how it develops. It's a good start, though. After that disaster week 1, Lions here at number 4. Speaking of the Rams, I'm going to put the Rams here at 3. It sucks that you blew that 19-point lead in Philadelphia and you lost that game. You had 2 field goals blocked. They should have won that game. This Rams team is really good. Sean McVay is in his bag this year. Nobody does it better than Sean McVay in designing things open, especially with Matthew Stafford at his quarterback. I mean, Puka Nacua is probably the 3rd best receiver in the league right now. He might be in the top 2. Who knows? He might be number 1 when it's all said and done. Now, he did do the same thing with Cooper Kupp. He's on pace for those numbers. They just feed my guy the rock, and they're getting him open better than anybody else in the NFL. And Stafford is a feeder. He'll feed 2 guys. He'll feed Puka. He'll feed Devontae Adams. And Devontae's on that second tier right now. They run the football really well. Defense is very good. The pass rush is good. Secondary could be a little bit better for the over there, but they are one of the best, if not the best, head coach teams in the NFL. And Stafford back is going to hold up for the season. This is going to be a very dangerous team. Could be the team to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. It's been a great start for the Rams so far. Rams here at number 3. All right, I'm going to drop Buffalo a spot here. 2 lackluster performances the last 2 weeks against very inferior opponents. Now, the offense is still very good. Josh Allen, kind of weird I feel like Josh Allen doesn't even like playing in the noon window anymore. Needs to be in prime time to get his juices flowing, cook things up. Speaking of Cook, James Cook, all my man does is run for 100 yards and a touchdown every single week. I didn't think it would be possible to do what he did last year, but he just scores touchdowns, man. Defense is the real concern for this team. They are not good. They're very injured. They're banged up. They're old. They got some suspensions out there, but they're just not good on defense. They got to get that figured out. This team is going to be really hard-pressed to win some games in the postseason if the defense is going to look like this. Now, Josh Allen is probably playing quarterback the best of anybody in the NFL, especially in those big spots. He's the guy I would want to have on my team at the moment, but here comes Patrick. Don't forget about the Mahomes, the man with all the rings and the wins. So it is scary a little bit. I need to see more from this Buffalo defense. Offense is excellent. They get the ball to their receivers. No elite receivers. Doesn't really matter. We're getting Kincaid more involved, and the run game has been fantastic so far this year. So Buffalo's offense, probably the best in football. Defense, a lot more to be desired. Hasn't hurt them yet. Buffalo here at number 2. And at number 1, the most frustrating and annoying team to deal with, the Philadelphia Eagles. Look, the Eagles just win football games. It's annoying. It's obnoxious. Like I said, they completed 0 passes in the second half. Like Jalen Hurts, what the hell, bro? A.J. Brown's tweeting cryptic shit. Nick Sirianni somehow is like not a bad game manager anymore and is coaching well. The run game's not nearly as good at all. They have the stupid tush push. They got the fake tush push now. I don't know. I mean, they just win games, man. There's a lot to be desired from this offense. It's not really good enough, but they just do enough. Defense has been very good this year. Besides that first half against the Rams and the second half against the Buccaneers, they've been really good for half of games. And if you're good enough for half of games, you can win a lot of football. I am a little bit worried about the depth of this team. They just melted in that heat. Now, you don't play football in the heat really much, especially as we're heading towards the end of the season. So hopefully that was just it. I worry about this team's depth, especially on the defensive line. They have to keep the rotation going if they want to get any sort of pass rush, because the secondary has been very good. But Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, you just don't know how long you're going to be able to hold up if the quarterback has all day in the pocket. So the D-line's going to be the key to the massive success for this team. Eagles are annoying. Eagles are frustrating. They just keep winning games. Eagles here at number 1. All right, that's going to do it for us this week. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who am I too high on? Who am I too low on? I love going back and forth with you guys. If you haven't already, drop a quick like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. We got daily sports content for you guys throughout the football season. If you want to support the channel more, sign up for a channel membership. You get all sorts of access to cool and exclusive perks. Helps support me. Allows me to keep making this great content for you guys every single day. If you want to go check out one of your teams in person, head on over to SeatGeek.com. Use code afterthereview for $20 off your first purchase. That's SeatGeek.com. Code afterthereview for $20 off your first purchase. Check out the links down below. Again, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.